Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
Yes, indeed.
Aye.
Now this video seems like a good way to crowbar in the fact that we've got a competition, haven't we?
We have.
What's it for?
It's for that T-shirt there.
Wow.
What does it say on it, Mike?
£1.50.
£1.50.
says.
Someone needs to do a compilation of Mike saying £1.50 for 10 hours straight.
Yeah. And who doesn't want a picture of Mike's head on their chest?
Precisely. All you've got to do is go to our Just Stop Oil protesters getting wrecked video and comment JFO and be subscribed.
Yep.
There you go.
Simple as that.
That's it. That easy.
Right then, I think I sort of alluded to the fact that a Just Stop Oil protester was going to lose their hand or something recently. Was I talking to you guys about it? Or did I say I saw a clip that was just, maybe it was like a 10-second reel of someone that had, I think they cemented or epoxy resined their hand to a runway or something, and last I heard it was like, yeah, they're probably going to lose their hand.
Good.
Because they can't get the stuff off. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
So I think it happened a week or so ago, but this guy we reacted to the other day has done a video on it.
Right.
So what was the video we did of his the other day?
It was the Jeff Bezos Primark. Not Primark, what was he on? Amazon Primark. It was the, not Amazon, it was the people going in and stealing stuff out of shops.
That's
right.
That's what it was. Yeah, you're right. But he alluded to the fact that maybe Amazon are conspiring to shut down the high street.
It's a Walmart thing.
It was something like that when it was like Walmart.
One of the big
or,
shops, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right, well, let's check this out. This is, does losing a hand cool the earth? I'm going to say no.
Climate change activists keep wandering into traffic to cool the earth, and Europeans are finally fed up.
Out the way!
Especially when this wall of welfare caused a car accident involving a pregnant woman.
This is the guy that gets chinned, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah. Have you seen that clip, Mike?
Yeah.
So some British conservative politician replied to the video, stating they need to go after the angry driver with the full force of the law. But then the oil activist snapped at him, inferring that articles that he's written are causing the violence on the protesters. So it looks like it's open season now, as in Germany this truck driver has had enough. And after removing the activist, he gets right back under the truck, but is somehow bewildered at the idea that he got hit. So it's a common theme now, as this guy's trying to drive around the nonsense, so this vehicular vermin scoots under the car and looks so hurt when the obvious occurs, as the Germans are beginning to aggressively end these incidents.
The Germans are definitely the ones at the moment. They are not putting up with this.
I think everyone's just come right to the edge at the moment now, and it's only a matter of time before it sort of like goes a little bit. Someone gets really hurt.
So many other things going on. The cost of living crisis, things like that. You know, people are
losing their houses at the moment.
I think people have had enough, haven't they?
Yeah.
Imagine you're desperate for a job because things are getting bad, like you say, and you're on your way to a job interview that you need to pay your mortgage, to feed your family, and then these gimps get in the way.
Yep.
And it's like you're looking at losing your house.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. I'd swing the car door open as I'm driving past, I think. That'd be the move, wouldn't it?
She dragged her off by the hair.
And for some reason, they keep rushing back like roaches.
Just run him over. Simple.
That would be the end of it, wouldn't it?
Now,
Should give
this
him a clap.
protest actually caused a serious accident, but a German publication reported on the story that roughly translates to "Rabid Blonde faces 5 years in prison," as after the protesters glued themselves to the ground, the group began removing them from the street, where they specifically complained about the blonde woman that no one knows who she is. But the police are actually looking at the climate activists as well, and it doesn't appear any criminal proceedings have begun. Now, I understand, that's just a Google translation of a German article, but what's crazy to me is how they treat these climate activists like toddlers. Just because they throw fits and sit on the ground and pout as means to get what they want doesn't mean they should not be tried as adults, because their unemployed behaviors are actually causing car accidents and injuries to people with places to be and things to do. But hilariously,
this is the video we reacted to, isn't it? Imagine if you had nothing better to do that day, so you super glued your own hand and just grabbed onto their hair.
Yeah.
And then just stood there and you're like, "Is what it is."
But you're touching them then, aren't you? So it's like
Hair.
yeah.
Just hair.
Hair where?
I don't know.
On the stair.
On the head.
Right there. There on the stair.
Right there, yeah, right there. No, you're just like, right, I need to go and do some shopping. Just wander off, taking them everywhere you go.
Just Stop Oil activists are now being blocked by a new group called Just Stop Pissing People Off.
And we know that disruption is uncomfortable, but it's necessary.
So not everybody has the time to peacefully protest their protest, and not everybody wants to do time for peacefully ending their protest. But luckily, they're constantly owning themselves, as their protests pump tons of pollution into the air. Their oil traps work, and the glue they use really works. So much that they could actually...
Do you know what I'd do? Close the road and fucking leave them there.
Yeah.
Just put a road closed at one end, one on the other. Road's closed, everybody away, nothing to see.
Diversion. As
Diversion,
if there's roadworks going on. Just leave them.
Just leave them.
Deal with it yourself.
Yeah, you got in that situation, and when you finish, repair the road.
Bill them for the damage to
there's
the
your
road.
As well, absolutely.
Just leave them. It's like the kid who straps himself to the goalpost at Everton.
Yeah, leave him.
They should have gone, right, game's postponed, everybody go home. You can stay.
Yeah.
Just leave him there. He'd still be there now.
Yeah, turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Then should have just ignored him.
Yeah.
Carry on playing.
Yeah,
How many times would people have hit the post?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone would have been shooting at that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But too woke over here to do anything about it.
Yeah.
No, you can't leave him. You can. He's chained himself to there. He's done it himself.
It's his own free choice.
Yeah. So we're just going to leave him there. That's what he wants. So we're just going to leave him.
If you don't want to be chained to a football post, don't do it.
Didn't that was it a Porsche dealership do that where they all glued their hands to the floor and they just switched the lights off?
Yeah.
And left.
It was a dealership. Yeah, I can't remember which brand it was, but it was
Then they started complaining that it was cold overnight.
Yeah, that's right.
So
just turn it. That's what I do. Just air conditioning right down to the lowest, onto the fullest speed. There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Freezing in there.
See you tomorrow.
actually lose a hand.
And using the AC.
Jesus.
So why do I cover when they stop orchestras?
So that's why they were here.
Spray down stations. And finger paint for alternative fuel.
And we're calling them out on it. It's unacceptable.
This is what they want, right? Me shedding awareness of their cause to millions of internet dwellers. But no, the more we see their fatherless antics, the more we don't believe in their movement. And whenever I see clips of this, I open my window and blast the AC, drive all the way home in first gear only, and order delivery from whatever restaurant uses the most styrofoam of the tuna with the most dolphin contents. Now obviously I'm joking, but what I'm serious about is not trusting these activists and politicians. Because as far as climate change goes, I don't know, it may very well be a huge problem. I'm not a meteorologist, but I'm also not an idiot. And anybody that wants you to give up your gas stove while they own a boat is literally just testing how dumb you are. Just look at the US presidential envoy for climate, John Kerry, telling us how doom is upon us.
Literally, food production for an entire continent could implode. Last year, the Rhine River was down to inches. You're seeing glaciers that are now absolutely predictable as to when they will be completely gone. I'm an optimist. I'm genuinely an optimist about this.
But as most of these pollution politicians do, they fly private. And look at him just squirm when he needs to verify if he owns a private plane.
Lies that I hear, which is this private jet. We don't own a private jet. I don't own a private jet. I personally have never owned a private jet. And obviously, it's pretty stupid to talk about coming in a private jet.
Just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet. Never owned or
I personally.
Your family?
I
your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane and sold the plane.
You flew on that plane?
Wow. Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it, sure.
Now it's not news when a pathetic...
It's worth saying he started that by saying we have never owned a private jet.
Yeah.
He didn't say I. He said we have never owned a private jet. I personally have never owned a private jet.
Yeah, exactly.
He said we, and his wife owned a private jet. If they got divorced, what would happen to that private jet? If it was a joint asset,
But she'd get it.
Two of them.
Well, because that's how it works.
Yeah, of course she would. Yeah,
and he has flown on it as well.
Yeah, he's flying on it.
It's full of, they're all full of shit.
Yeah.
They proper bother me.
Just try and get away with as much as they can, don't they, until they're absolutely caught
They're
out.
involved in everything. They've got the finger in every fucking pie that they can have.
they're all
They
the
make
same.
billions and billions of money.
That's testifying in front of Congress, though. That should be illegal.
Put them in jail.
That should absolutely be illegal.
50
you should
years.
be like, so you're a politician who lies to Congress.
Oh, tell me,
under
again,
oath.
if we had to put politicians in jail, Dave, who lied, we wouldn't have any.
Just sack them.
There'd be no politicians. They all lie.
Yeah, just sack them, though.
They're all full
Just
of
say,
shit.
If a president gets impeached because he lies to the general public, for example, not that I've got anyone in specific in mind, but then these people are lying and proven to be lying. So it's like, right, okay, you're whatever the equivalent of impeached is. You're gone. See you later.
They're not full of shit, man.
Career over.
Sunak last week gives out licenses for North Sea oil drilling. And you know what? Who gets the biggest one? His wife's company.
Unbelievable.
Funny that, isn't it?
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. Coincidence.
So brazen, aren't they? Really are.
It is brazen.
They should all just get sacked. As soon as you do something like that, that's easily proven, which that is, Sunak doing that, that's like insider trading.
I'm starting a new one anyway. JST. Just stop taxis. Not the people who pick you up and drop you off.
Yeah, just stop taxis.
No, I mean, still want Ubers, don't you? But
still want
Fuck
Ubers.
you,
Right,
Uber.
Not that one. It's ES, not IS.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, there should be an overhaul of all of it, and it's just you have lied under oath. You're obviously, your reputation is in disrepute. We can't trust you. You're sacked. There you go. Sacked on the spot. See you later.
Everyone's a scammer now. Everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Politician panics when the peasants give him even the slightest amount of pushback. But what I don't understand is people can be aware of the hypocrisy and still pledge their allegiance to the cause. Like when a congressperson claims that we just had the hottest day in 120,000 years. Several people go online to question exactly how she came up with that figure, but no, far-left social media sites like Reddit's r/World News just ran with it, giving thousands of upvotes, comments, and praise on what an emergency this is. And if anybody wants even a discussion about how maybe we don't know the exact temperatures from over 100 millenniums ago, they're immediately met with downvotes. It's almost like, hey, if we're going to enact policies that will cause mass starvation and poverty nationwide, maybe we should base those decisions on something more concrete than "we said so." But on the population concern, they're just outright saying it now.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
But when whitehouse.gov did...
Someone told me yesterday that they'd heard discussion. I don't know whether the discussion's been heard. I didn't get into it with them because I'm not a believer of a lot of the shit that people make up. But she was saying that the talks next year are having lockdowns again for climate lockdowns.
Yeah.
Where you wouldn't be allowed out at certain periods for whatever due to climate lockdown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no way, but people going on about the hottest. I remember going to Spain in the summer. I've been in the Middle East in the summer. It's fucking hot.
Yeah.
Right? That's why people go from here to Spain and Greece, Portugal, European countries that's known to be hot in the summer.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even reached 20 degrees in the UK this summer.
Not for weeks.
No. I think we're going to get the hottest day this week.
Thursdays, I think,
26 degrees.
Yeah.
Some global warming, some climate change.
I know,
It's always been freezing here.
Yeah.
It's always in shitty weather here.
No,
Where's the change?
Imagine telling people in developing countries as well, where some people may not have a bean to rub together, and it's like, oh yeah, you need to not do polluting things that help feed your family and all that sort of stuff. From an ivory tower where someone's earning hundreds of thousands, if not millions, they drive a really nice car, they live in a mansion.
Look at countries like Nigeria. They're one of the biggest oil-producing countries in the world. And the way they treat their population, that money doesn't cascade down to the people.
No, not at all.
It stays at the top. And that's what's happening in this country. It's probably what's happening in the USA, probably what's happening in Canada. All over the world, different places. It just stays at the top. The cream's not coming down; it's staying right at the top.
Always the way.
Towards the end, no one gave a shit about lockdowns in this country. So if they try and enforce some sort of environmental-based lockdown, I think that would be the end for the majority of the politicians. I think people would just go, fuck you.
I think it'd just be the end of normal civilization in the UK, I think, or wherever they try and implement it.
No one would do anything about it. No one would do anything. And if you want to put cameras everywhere to film cars, they'd all get destroyed. I think that'd be the tipping point for people going, nah, no chance. Bad enough. What if you think you're right, and all these politicians will be offsetting their carbon by buying a load of woodland. And it's like, because you're rich enough that you can buy
That's
10
what it is.
acres of woodland, you can write off your Range Rover or whatever it is that you're driving, but poor people can't.
Which no one can
So
live
they
in,
should
and you
suffer.
no one can build anywhere near you. So we're going to send all the migration and the immigrants that are coming in, where we need to find housing for them, and social housing. We're going to put them in places where it's already overcrowded, where the rich don't live.
It's becoming a bit of a dystopia, isn't it, potentially? It's a bit bizarre.
Their transcript of Kamala Harris's heresy, they're conveniently translating her Biden.
Oh, what I was going to say about that actually is, I don't think that was like a Freudian slip. I think she meant to say pollution and just got it wrong. I don't think she meant to say reduced population. I don't think she was thinking population and it was a mistake. I think it was just genuinely she got the word wrong.
Yeah.
Which,
Did she say reduced or reduced?
She said when we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population.
But did she say reduced population or reduced?
Reduced, I don't think so. But I think she meant to say pollution. It'd be a bit conspiratorial to look at what she just said there as some sort of Illuminati, like it's a master plan.
Well, that's America's problem. That's not my problem.
Fair.
Knees to English by saying she meant to say reduce pollution, not reduce population. And even if she did mean pollution, does she mean her pollution or the peasants' pollution? Because whenever they say reduce emissions, it's never promises to eliminate her motorcade, turn off the AC in her offices, or eliminating any of her life luxuries. It's always just them volunteering your efforts through force that you finance. Just look at how Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau plans on tackling the climate crisis.
What we learned from this COVID crisis, we will be applying to the climate crisis.
Which is interesting, because the New York Times just walked back a lot of their statements on the virus. How the official number of deaths was an exaggeration, and the majority of the immunocompromised didn't face additional risks. I don't know about you, but I remember when both of those facts were used against us in order to force compliance on the masses. And if you challenged any of those so-called facts, you were immediately silenced. And now they're outright admitting the tactics they used on the virus is what they'll use on the climate. It's almost like they're using the words virus and climate as synonyms for the citizens. Which reminds me of this random meme, pointing out how the people that want to take away your two-way reserve it for themselves. The people that want to eliminate emissions reserve it for themselves. And most recently, the people that wanted to take away your ability to leave your home, make a living, or even breathe fresh air reserved it for themselves. Because that's what this comes down to. It's really hard for me to believe that the bar is on fire if the guy that's shouting it's on fire just goes back into the building and orders a drink. So red pill your friends and share this video. And if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on what's really going on in the world, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on...
Yeah, I like this guy.
He's good, isn't he?
He's good.
I like his commentary, the way he speaks. It's just he's fast, he's rapid fire.
Yeah, talks sense. Most of the time as well,
it's good that he adds a bit of humour into it as well, because like too many people are just uber serious all the time, especially when you're talking about topics like that. And he's kind of taking the piss, but
but it's, like I say, he's got a point what he's saying, and it's, for me, I'm really switching off with it all.
Yeah, is that what he was alluding to there? Like I said, they're going to use like lockdowns for the climate next year. Is that what I think he was sort of alluding to that? Really,
is that what he's saying? Same as what we were saying.
I think that's the direction he was going.
They're going to
with
use
that.
the same sort of tactics, sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's what he was
not
getting
gonna
at,
work.
I think.
Ain't gonna work.
No, I don't think for that it won't. I think after what's gone on,
I definitely wouldn't. So like, if it said to me, right, you can't go out fucking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, well, I'll just say, fuck you, I'm out.
Absolutely,
do what you want to do. And you know what? If a cop comes near me, we're fighting. Stay away.
You can imagine the effect on the economy again. I mean, it's been bad enough with COVID, all places, people losing jobs, places shutting down, bars, restaurants, and loads of other places. It's,
I'll go full flake and sort of like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
And if they come anywhere near me, they get proper like, we're going for it. I'll have an army with me. I'll have guns and everything. Be proper full on Johnny Rambo.
What guns? They've taken them away.
I'll have water pistols, mate. I'll soak them with piss. I'll store piss. I'll bottle it. Fucking loads of it. I'll have a bath full. I'll just keep dipping my gun in and filling it up and then going back out on the road.
Yeah.
I think...
I just asked you if you could use your stop starting the hamster ball, that's all.
I like to think common sense will prevail. I think it usually does. And I think the amount of politicians out there that realise how stupid it'd be to try and implement something like that, it would be actual riots in the streets.
Would be, yeah.
They've already tried the 15-minute city thing, haven't they? Which is a way of stopping people travelling outside of their zone, which is bizarre. You know, you have to pay to leave your immediate area.
These low, what they call
ultra low emission zones.
No, not the ULEZ, not the ULEZ stuff. He's called the low traffic zones or something. They called because he's one here. They put one in Levenshulme, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah, low populated zones. I can't remember what it's called.
Right. Okay.
I think the
It
point
all kicked off there yesterday because of it.
I'm not surprised because the point is, if you leave your immediate area for anything, you then have to pay like the equivalent of a congestion charge. And it's like, so your family lived 10 miles over there, you've got to pay to go and see them every time. Ridiculous. And all those cameras have been destroyed. I think they did it in Oxford, didn't they? Is it Oxford or?
No, there was an issue with it in something in Levenshulme yesterday I was reading, and it kicks off up there.
Drives me mad. Drives me absolutely mad because it is like Trudeau as well. I find him very creepy. There's something very off about Trudeau for me.
It's Canadian.
I like Canadians. I like Canadians, but I think he's a very bizarre, seemingly very hypocritical, strange guy.
That's the French coming out of him.
It probably is. Yeah. The Canadian side of him's fine.
The hockey bit's fine. The French bit's a little bit woo.
It just seems to be implementing some very bizarre things, or attempting to, and saying a lot of things, and it seems like the general public are going, what are you on about? You know, like when politicians are kind of talking, it seems like they're talking to themselves, not to the general public, which a lot of them seem to be doing at the moment.
It's all a bit nuts, but there you go. Yeah, I like that guy though. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.